I had a hobby too. Mine happened to be guns and ballistics, and I studied guns and ballistics as much as I could, and I wrote an article about high velocity.
So out of all my years working at Weatherby, the last 5 have been some of the most exciting. Working with Adam, with him running the company.
And to think that I get the opportunity of carrying on my grandfather's legacy 75 years later here in Sheridan, Wyoming, I mean, it really is a dream come true.
Oh, I'm home. Thank God I'm home.
On Our Mark, the Weatherby Podcast.
Welcome back to On Our Mark, the Weatherby Podcast. We're talking about more fun stuff today.
Another product launch, huh, Luke?
Yeah. We got Adam, Ryan. Ryan, welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks. It's been a little bit. But
What do you do here?
I'm a design engineer.
Which podcast? You were on?
I was on the Launch podcast.
The 307 Launch podcast. That's
We
right.
bring him in on the big stuff.
Yeah. I'm so excited about this one.
I'm a design engineer too.
Are you? Honorary.
Like I talk to Ryan a lot.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I get good input.
Yeah. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate that.
I think that's a design consultant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Tim calls me,
Senior product manager.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which means I get in everybody's way.
Tim is our engineering director. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. We asked him to be on the podcast, and he said, "You want Ryan."
Well, this product is one I've been excited about for a long time. We've been talking about for years, and it's finally here.
Yeah, we had an all-employee meeting yesterday. We reviewed some of the new products, and I said that 6 years ago when I started here, if we could do this thing, it would be a big deal. And 6 years later, we have done this thing.
Right. And it's this thing at this price. So I think as we talk about it, I think the built on the 307, one of the keys is the value that this brings for the features and materials used and the specs. It's a lot. It's a lot of gun for the price that it's at too, which is exciting.
Who wants to let the cat out of the bag?
Man, I feel like Ryan should. This is like he put a lot of work into this rifle.
Introducing
The Alpine CT, Model 307.
Nice. What's special about it, Ryan?
Everything.
I like it.
I think this is the best Model 307 model that we have available now as far as features go when you compare it to what we've been able to launch with and what we have now, just kind of having a super feature-loaded model that we can offer our customers at that 6-pound mark. Really, really exciting, and almost 14 calibers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When 6 years ago, Adam and I, we're always talking about new products. Like, I don't know, not many days go by that we don't talk about new products. It's fun. But we were like, we want to do a carbon fiber stock, like a lightweight gun with a carbon fiber barrel. And like everything that's on here, directional brake, everything.
Yep.
It's all in the Alpine CT.
And we had it and said we want to hit close to that $2,000 mark. The Model 307 Alpine CT, I think, retails $21.99 coming out.
Yeah.
Unless you're listening to this podcast 10 years from now, it's probably going to be more.
Yeah, inflation's been real.
Yes, but for just a hair over $2,000, we tried to just pack in a lot of features and have it be something that's going to be customizable and upgradable and all of those different things. So I think it packs all of those in. The bottom line is we're able to make a 307 more cost affordable than we are to make a Mark V. And that's, people go, why don't we just do that in Mark V? Because the same thing in Mark V would be a lot more money. And so, I often say when my grandpa came out the Mark V in 1958, we probably didn't have the same programs that Ryan's using.
Did he design that in SolidWorks?
And we didn't have CNC machines and all those things. So it's a very hard action to make. It's difficult. And so the 307 is more manufacturable. And so we're able to get it into, this product for the price point that we have it at.
Yeah, so let's break this thing down. We said carbon fiber stock. What carbon fiber stock?
Yeah, I like to say this is kind of the best combination carbon too. To be able to hit those price points, we didn't have to skimp on carbon barrels and carbon stocks. So this is a Peak 44 Bastion stock. So it's we've launched this on a few other models before, but it's a vertical grip stock. It really promotes good shooting form when you're shooting prone or shooting off a pack, shooting off a bench. So it's got that 3D hex recoil pad as well. So that's a proprietary thing to Peak 44, so it does a really good job handling recoil, and it's just a comfortable stock.
Yeah, and I really like the negative comb. So at recoil, it doesn't push into you, and so especially on some of the magnums on a lightweight rifle, that's really nice for the shooter.
Yeah, it's just a subtle detail that has a big effect on the shooter that you wouldn't really think about with a negative comb like that.
And it's got dual swivel studs and a little longer forearm than like the Peak 44 Blacktooth does. It's used on our Mark V backcountry, one. So it's comes in at 24 ounces with more meat in the back and more meat in the front than our traditional kind of backcountry stock that we use. So it's really growing in popularity and is a kind of a hybrid stock where it's fun to shoot on the bench and at the range, but yet 24 ounces and, a great gun to carry into the field to hunt with too, or stock, that is. So,
yeah. So when this podcast comes out next week, it'll have been 2 weeks since we launched the Alpine MDT Carbon, which has basically it's the same barrel, the BSF barrel, which we talked a lot about. We can talk about that a little more. But Ryan, you weren't in that podcast, but you're kind of the brains behind this new brake. I'd like to hear your take on this new
Accubrake DST. Yep. No, it was a lot of fun working on that. We kind of wanted to offer something other than the radio brake, and we were challenged with that, which was awesome. Having that, we decided on 4 ports, especially that big port in the front to let a majority of your gas through there. But we were aiming for a brake that kept you on target, shot after shot, and that was brakes are going to be loud, but we wanted to mitigate some of that dust in your face when you're in the prone position and things like that. So that was some of the requirements that we had and some of the things that we had to validate when we launched this brake. But excellent recoil mitigation, and again, it keeps the shooter on target, shot after shot.
Yeah, I have spent some time on this gun, and I was seeing impacts. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
It's fun to get behind. It's fun when you get up into the bigger calibers, how it's mitigating that recoil for you, and you've got 6.5 RPMs feeling like 6.5 Creedmoors on the shoulder. So.
Yeah.
It is less jump, and even watching some of the videos of us shooting it in different things, it does seem to be just noticeably less jump, less muzzle rise that you can see, and also obviously different than maybe the radio brakes that we have that have the ports all the way around it. It was key that this was able to be easily timed and installed, by the customer and so forth, because the ports are only on the side. You didn't want them off. So how'd you accomplish that, Ryan?
Yep, so we got that knurled timing nut on there with 13/16 flat on the brake, so the user can quickly assemble this onto their rifle, whether they're buying it on the Alpine CT or Alpine MDT Carbon.
So there's a balance between that knurled portion, and you're basically locking that against.
You're locking that against it. Yeah, and I think we've got a product video on how to install that brake.
Yeah, we sat down with Jared and did it's like a minute and a half, and it really shows you how to level that, get it timed up right. Yeah.
Good. No, and that way I think it just looks sharp. It looks sharp with the knurled part, and then obviously it's threaded 5/8 24, suppressor friendly and ready as well if you're taking the brake off. Yeah. So
yeah, I talked about this in the other podcast, but I shot this prone, and we were trying to get a very dramatic picture with showing stuff going out to the sides, and I had to get so low to the ground to get enough debris to kick off the ground, and still it really didn't even come back in my face like a normal radial brake would. But I had to go abnormally low where there was the pistol grip portion was on the ground. And I had to set the bipod legs out forward quite a bit to get them in their lowest setting to get it low enough. And I was basically aiming at nothing just to get that video shot. And
yeah, we wanted to get like a really cool video of the where you could see the gas is coming out the side.
Yeah, and still like no debris in my face. So it was like on a gravel road. Like, it was pretty awesome. It was cool. So.
Yeah, and just looking at the comments, this is a product or a feature that the customer has been asking for. Like we get, being on the marketing team, we read a lot of comments. We like to take that feedback back to product development and engineering.
Sorry, Tyler, this one's not available in Lefty at this time.
Yeah, it's not available in Lefty. I know those comments are coming.
Or 224 Weatherby.
Or 224 Weatherby. So if you guys were wondering, we do read the comments and we do take those ideas to product development. We work with our customer service team. They have tallies of potential products that people are asking for. So
yeah, so great job with the brake. Obviously, it's on the BSF carbon fiber barrel that we've been using now for about 5 years. And we've talked about it again and again. I think here recently too, like you said, with the last launch with this on it on the 307s, but we have just had tremendous accuracy results, and I think a lot of it is the whole tension design with a tube and a tension nut on the end, and what BSF has been able to do, and we've partnered with them and really refined things over the last several years with a lot of larger Magnum calibers that can have more barrel whip and more barrel harmonics that you're dealing with. We just find that these barrels shoot very well across the board in a variety of calibers.
They're winning.
Yeah. I like how you kind of pointed that out with a variety of calibers. I mean, we like to take pride that we don't just launch 3 calibers. It's pretty easy to get a easy, accuracy guarantee when you launch 2 or 3 calibers. But when you're doing something as hot as a 6.5 300, a lot of harmonics going into that, and it's kind of a testament to the barrel, to the platform, to the setup.
I mean, we're from a 243 up to a 300 Weatherby or 6.5 300. So we have a variety. Of calibers and cartridges that we're offering this in. Probably over a dozen or so that we're doing, and we do take pride in that. A lot of folks come out with 1 or 2 at the beginning, so it means there's a lot of testing, a lot of engineering. It's feeding, it's mag boxes, just making sure it's a lot.
It's a lot of and we went through and we did some revalidation on the BSF barrels with the Alpine CT launch for the compatibility with the 307 action
and new barrel lengths.
And the barrel lengths that
we just glossed right over that.
I don't know if we talked about
it's like becoming normal now, but these are substantially shorter barrels than we have done in the past.
And which is, it's hard for me because every time in some of these you are sacrificing velocity, and that's our middle name. That's ballistic superiority is what my grandpa founded this company on, so it's difficult. But for people's kind of portability, kind of compact things out in the field that they're looking for, combined with so many people using suppressors in all the states that it's legal to hunt with, we're, again, back to Tyler's comment on we've been hearing it, and we do have a lot of long barrels out there so that the powder can burn on our larger cartridges so we can get superior velocity and energy downrange. However, on this model, we really worked on every individual cartridge offering on having what we thought would be a sweet spot to appease maybe both those people, where it's not maybe the uber-ish shortest thing you can find out there, but it's maybe not the traditional uber long that we do, and tried to come up with a barrel length list that we thought our customers would want for that good balance between getting the velocity they're looking for as well as maybe it being more suppressor ready.
Yeah, most barrels are like 22s. So there's some... Look on Weatherby.com for the specific cartridge that you're interested in, but the majority are 22-inch barrels.
Yeah, there's 13-ish or 14, calibers, and 80%, 75% of them are 22-inch, and so you can check it out online, but
and running a suppressor too. What I like about kind of that good sweet spot of long or shorter barrel is it brings that balance point on that rifle a little bit back with being a light rifle. To me, that's pretty important when I'm thinking of, when I'm trying to set up really quick on an animal or something, that balance point is important to me. So,
And we did test, when we changed barrel lengths, we just want to make sure from our crown to that powder burn rate for everything that we're really testing barrel lengths. Like, for instance, let's take the hot 7 PRC right now. And so we were debating for a while, 22-inch or 24-inch. and we went back and forth. There's obviously a little velocity gain with 24, but we knew a lot of people would want 22, but we wanted to make sure it'd shoot. I remember one of the first ones we built was for Joseph Von Benedict, shout out, Backcountry Hunting Podcast, that I went to New Zealand with, and we took one right off the line. We built up the first gun, and we fired 3 of our Weatherby factory loads through it. And I want to say we were 0.3, 0.6, and 0.75 or 0.8 right out of the this was not special. This was just the first one
gun.
with a 22-inch 7 PRC barrel, the very first one. We didn't shoot 5 and then find a good one. That was literally without breaking it in. Of course, 0.3 was with the hammers, but the others were just right over ½ inch without even breaking it or dialing it in. And so, but we did test the different barrel lengths, which is a lot of range time. It's a lot of ammo.
It is a lot of time.
Yeah.
But we did do that with each of these individual ones, too, to just make sure we didn't just slap a trendy barrel length on there, but we did validate it.
Yeah. And that particular setup is still right around 2,900 feet per second with that 22-inch barrel, because I've played with the same exact...
With the 177
hammers, played with that same setup on an Alpine MDT carbon and an Alpine CT. So, yeah, it's still pushing good velocity there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the bottom end a little bit. So the Range XP and some of the other the Alpine MDT, they're all using magazines. Our first hinged floor plate was the Adventure ST the wood version. This is basically the same bottom metal, right?
Internal mag box. Yeah.
Yeah. So we wanted a few more cartridge offerings. When you're doing a magazine fed, you're limited by the magazines that are available. We were on purpose doing a hinged floor plate here because this is a little more hunting centric than some of the previous 307 models, and this is a darn good hunting tool.
Yeah, I'm pumped because you get back into that 300 Weatherby as opposed to the Range XP. Having a 300 Weatherby, that's we always talk about if you have to have one caliber to rule them all.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be most Weatherby guys' choice. So I'm excited about that. So.
How fun was it to work on all the feeding, Ryan?
Yeah, that's probably my favorite topic right now. No, I mean, feeding has its challenges, especially when you're asking for 14 cartridges to be launched.
Mm-hmm.
But we went through all of them, and some were more trouble than others. Some that we expected to be trouble were not trouble, and some that we didn't expect caused us some problems, but we got them all straightened out, and I feel really good about the feeding on these. Really, really happy with what we ended up with.
Yeah, and it's it's hard because you're a variety of loads and bullet lengths, and so you find it feeds in. It's like you got to find as many bullets as you can, seed them at different lengths, and because there's going to be somebody out there who finds some way to make it not feed right, and so we try to do everything we can in a variety of bullets to make that work. And now, especially with the PRCs, they can be tougher because of the design of the cartridge.
Typically short and fat, right? So which
Goofy
is
shoulders,
which is a different challenge than long and skinny like a RPM.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we've made as many modifications as we can and are confident in all the ones we came out with.
Yeah, we take everything that we had downstairs on the range, feed it. If we didn't have something that made sense, we'd go out and get it. Testing all those max overall lengths, and really happy with it.
Yeah, great job. I actually meant to say something about that yesterday, that sometimes the engineering team is like the unsung heroes. Like you guys do so much work in the background, but often don't get enough credit for everything that goes into making anything come to life. You just go to a store and you look at the shelf, you just typical consumerism. It's like, oh, there's just a thing. Let me grab this bottle of mustard. But I guarantee you somewhere there's an engineer that poured in a lot of time to figure out how that bottle was designed.
Well, you don't like the time that we take, though, sometimes.
No, it's always too long.
I can just imagine Ryan at the store and be like, I wonder what the testing protocol was for this bottle of mustard.
Just the label adhesive, yeah.
Right? Yeah. What's that red number? 40? I don't know.
So continuing on features.
Yeah, sorry, I got sidetracked.
TriggerTech trigger, of course, which we've been just loving. So it's TriggerTech
standard in all Mark 5s and Model 307s. Yeah,
their field trigger and
Peak 44,
fully adjustable.
Peak 44 J rail on top. helical fluted bolt body with Ryan's bolt takedown. It's pretty awesome.
Toolless, yeah. We worked on that together.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I give you credit for
I'm
it.
going to give you some credit too, though.
I always like, sometimes we always forget that bolt knob is threaded too. So if you're like a guy who wants like a bigger bolt knob or something,
absolutely,
you can
yeah.
thread that on. It's standard thread. So I always like to remember to say that one, because
Yeah.
the bolt knob is it's a good volume, but sometimes people like a bigger bolt knob.
Yeah,
just
they
to
want that
thread it.
hourglass shape. Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm still just like pumped for the whole package. What I consider the best barrel, the best stock on the market, probably the best trigger on the market with Trigger Tech trigger. It's a lot of bests, and for $2,000,
Kind of a gnarly paint job.
it looks darn good.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Is that Patriot Brown?
It is Patriot Brown.
Yeah, Patriot Brown Cerakote. So it's going to be weather resistant, and then a custom Weatherby paint pattern done here in Sheridan, Wyoming. So it's, it's like a custom gun using all the best aftermarket stuff kind of already on it from a Weatherby built, USA built firearm. So, a lot of people always wonder, but 307's built in the U.S., largely here in Sheridan, Wyoming.
Yeah, the only non-USA thing on there is the trigger, I think, which is Canadian. So it's at least North American.
That's right.
Just our top hat. Yeah.
That's right. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, we got out there and did a lot of testing with it, too.
You took, JVB took it to New Zealand. Did you
Yep.
shoot it there?
I shot it there, but not at an animal. Although I am in the photo behind us here, if you're watching on YouTube, with it in New Zealand. But I used a different rifle that's not out yet to shoot mine.
That's right.
I always shoot the newest.
You're like 5 newest in.
So Joseph actually shot his fallow deer buck, his Himalayan tar, and his chamois with a 7 PRC.
Nice.
In this gun right here. So in New Zealand just last month, and had phenomenal results. I'm thinking of each one, and I don't think he shot any of them twice. So so it did really well. You took it, Tyler.
Yeah, me and Colton Hayward. Colton's from Peterson's Hunting.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Texas in March, and we did kind of an aoudad hunt that was pretty awesome. We were doing some hiking, some backpacking in there, and
So we like free range aoudad.
yeah, we had similar experiences. We took 2 different calibers. We took 6.5 300, and that's what I shot my aoudad with, and it was pretty cool. We'll have some cool video coming out. We got a couple of hammer trails, but that 6.5 300 gets there pretty darn quick.
Kobe's kill shot footage on those were off the chart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty insane. So he got mine in 120. So with 6.5 300 at 355 yards, it was like there in no time. Pretty cool.
120
Frames per
Oh,
second.
frames per second.
Sorry,
Yeah,
for those
yeah.
of us that
Yeah.
are more
But-
passionate about ballistics than we are photography.
And then Colton made a phenomenal shot. He used 6.5 RPM at like 427 yards and just smoked it. And that was in 240 frames per second. So it's like, looks like something that is like 100 yards away, because he was using that Swaro spotter as well.
Yeah.
And it's just pretty amazing. But yeah, great performance there. It's pretty fun. I'd never aoudad hunted before, so it was really cool to kind of experience that in Texas. You're in the mountains. You just don't sometimes think of Texas like that.
And then we took it to Africa as well, one of the earliest prototypes.
We sure did.
Yeah,
We sure did.
we killed some things too.
I killed
you
something
killed
with it. I
you
killed
killed
a
a
blessed
bless buck
I did.
in 6.5
I sure
RPM.
did. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was in February.
yeah. That was one of the earliest prototypes that we took over there. So so it's killed on multiple continents now. So it's doing well, and it's endured great. So there's been no functional problems in the field. The stock. I mean, just the durability. It's not just the performance, but the durability, not only in the coatings and so forth, which we tested it in rain a lot in New Zealand, and so. Things
It came
held
back
up.
in better shape than some of the camera gear.
That's
You might want to listen to New Zealand episode 1 to hear about that. But the other thing, when you talk about durability with this Peak 44 Bastion stock, I'm gonna just say this right now, but I do not believe we've ever got one back cracked. But if we did, I've never heard about it.
No, I haven't heard any.
I'm pretty sure I would be aware,
Yes.
and I'm not aware.
Yes. If there is one customer and you're listening, let me know. But I do. I mean, it is a very, very durable. So to be 24 ounces with those features and that size, and be able to, withhold 300 Weatherby recoil for thousands of rounds, never crack. I mean, it's a robust stock.
Yeah, and what I love about starting with such a lightweight setup is if you're not the lightweight rifle guy, what it does allow you to do is not skimp on accessories. So if you don't want it to weigh 7.5 pounds scoped or whatever, you can go bigger scope, you can go bipod, you can go all these other different accessories that now your rifle might be 9 or 10 pounds, but you didn't have to skimp to get there, right? So,
and we're looking at 6.1 to 6.3 pounds, depending on caliber and barrel length.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty awesome package.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm hoping to take one of these to Alaska soon. Next month.
Next month.
Yeah. I'm taking one on an elk hunt this year. So, yeah, we got some things planned for it. So we'll be taking it all over. But we're going to be launching it. And at launch, we have product available.
Yes.
At launch.
There will be. So get on weatherby.com after you finish listening to this complete podcast. But at any time, get on weatherby.com. There's Chris, our web guy, has designed a sweet landing page for the Alpine CT. There's a lot more information there, and there should be some available, and you could get some there. There's also, we'll be shipping them. We've been selling these to dealers now for a couple of months, so dealers and distributors should have some inventory. Can't promise that your local gun shop has them, but they should have access to them, so they are available through distribution. Most of the dealers are going to pull a distributor feed, and they can get on and see if there's some available.
Most dealers are pretty awesome too. They'll order it for you if you go into the shop.
So we do have a dealer locator on our website, and you can use that to try to find a place to track it down. If you're coming through Sheridan, Wyoming, we'll always on launch day, we go downstairs and give one to Corey. So on launch day, if you come in, you can usually touch and feel it from then on. So all our products are always down in the showroom during the weekdays and stuff, so you can go down there and check it out too.
Corey's awesome. He always plays like this podcast on like the day of launch or like the week of the launch week, and just it's fun.
He gets dialed in.
Yeah. Ryan, do you have any like concluders, parting thoughts on the Alpine CT? Put you in a hot chair there.
Yeah, you put me in the hot chair. I think I had one saved round on the break there. I didn't kind of talk about this too much, but we upped our material to a 416 stainless on that that break, so that we kind of prevent or mitigate some of those risks of erosion on the baffles, especially with a break like this, taking on 6.5, 300, and 300 Weatherby, that we wanted that extra strength and hardness to help with the lifetime of the break.
Yeah,
which I thought
great
was
point. Yeah,
a good thing for us, and that we were able to spend the money there on those kind of important things to make this how it should be.
We didn't cut any corners. It was exactly the gun we wanted it to be, and it just, I don't know, it came out every bit or better than we ever wanted it to be. So it's cool.
Yeah. And its class and its price point, it's the best combination in carbon. That's kind of what we've been saying. So
I would throw a challenge out there to find one better.
Do it, Luke. Throw out the challenge.
Yeah, I don't think there's another one that you could buy today that would shoot as accurately or as well or is as available in as many cartridges or
looks super awesome.
Looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can trick it out. I mean, that's one of the beauties of the Model 307 is to be able to put some accessories on it, throw some things on the stock. This particular one we have here on the table of the podcast has got a rail.
Oh, that's not even out yet. That might not be out.
Never mind. There's nothing
on part.
There's some accessories on the stock and things, but that's one of the beauties of it. If someday you want to upgrade your trigger to the super high level, whatever, you can do that. So, but for a base model, I think it's got some pretty sweet features. So we're really excited about the launch, and it's been a fun run. We enjoy, at times, especially with 14 cartridges and getting them to feed or whatever it is, we beat our head against a wall or you know, sometimes there's all sorts of challenges, and it's always delayed, and it comes out after you want it to come out, and it always costs more, and all those kind of things. But it's fun, and launch day is always a really fun and exciting time around Weatherby for the whole team, because it takes so many departments to make a launch happen. You know, from marketing the launch, you know, at the very end, to everything that has to happen along the way, all the product testing and the design and you know, the endurance thing. So when we look at this product, somebody just looks at it as, oh, it's a whole bunch of things just kind of put together. And, you know, like Ryan's sitting here dissecting every little piece, knowing here's what we did to test this and here's what we did to test that. And it's fun.
Yeah, just piggybacking on that, we talked about it in the employee meeting yesterday, but we couldn't have done this 5 years ago. What did you say that we weren't even thinking about? Wasn't even a dream to make stocks 5 years ago, 6 years ago? Yeah. Now we're making that stock where Ryan designed that Accubrake, the action essentially. Like there's so much that we've done with the team here that we couldn't have done without the move to Sheridan and being here and the team we've got. So it's like the culmination of so much. It's pretty awesome.
I feel like this is a more salesy podcast. Usually we try to do hunts, we try to do whatever. And we're here tooting our own horn, proud of something we came out with. But I know people that listen to these want to know these things and want to know more about it, more than you maybe. That's why you might listen to our podcast more than you can just see on the webpage. And
yeah, you're not going to get this spiel from the guy behind the counter, probably.
Yeah, depends on where you go. Some
or
good counter guys.
Or in our 5-minute launch video or the 1-minute product walkthrough. That's why these are fun, because we can get into the nitty gritty.
You're probably not going to get Ryan behind the gun counter. That's what I'm saying.
No. You got me working on enough.
Yeah. Ryan's going to be working 4 to 5 in the showroom now. So
So check it out and let us know what you think. We'd be excited to hear about it. We love hearing feedback from other people. We try to do as much product testing as we can, but we know our customers and listeners are the ones who get out there in the field, and that's why we refine things over the years. And that's why we've been having so many product launches. We've been hearing what you've been talking about and been trying to come out with those things.
Last thing, June 6th. So if it's not June 6th yet, we're doing a live Q&A with Adam. We're going to do a live podcast at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Are we going to talk about this rifle? Or what are we going to talk about?
We're talking about this rifle, and then it's also just a chance for consumers to ask questions. So
how do they ask those questions?
You can either comment on our social post that we'll have a social post, or send your questions to on our mark at weatherby.com. So
at the website?
Not the website, at weatherby.com. So
yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.
DJ, cut it there.